Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the upset. This is the home of the money pick. Last week we hit on a few upsets. Let's get to work again. The first upset I'm looking at this week is the Chargers in Denver. And the Denver Broncos have been a familiar target for us. Remember when everyone said we was crazy? Remember when everyone said we needed to be internalized in the psychiatric center when we picked Denver against New England? But I'm seeing similar fundamentals against this Chargers team. Listen. In this COVID era, I know you guys love home field advantage, but home field advantage, it just isn't all that important at the moment. But one place that has home field advantage is Mile High in Denver. I think this will help the Denver Broncos, and I want to look at a few matchups because this is my best upset of the week. Firstly, the Chargers. You have to look at their offense, and they're playing pretty good offensively. But I didn't think that Chargers team looked all that great against a really, really terrible Jaguars team last week. So I think Denver's defense will be able to stop the Chargers' run. And we've seen Herbert throw this ball. We've seen Herbert make plays. But we need to be reasonable here. Can Herbert sling this ball for 300 yards in Mile High Stadium? Can he do this against Denver? I don't think so. And you look at Denver's offense, and yes, they're having problems. Yes, Denver's offense isn't anything to write home about. I told you guys Drew Lock was not a franchise quarterback coming into this, but he doesn't need to be a franchise quarterback for us to get this upset. Same with the rationale with he didn't need to be a franchise quarterback for them to beat the New England Patriots. I think Drew Lock comes in. I think Denver goes heavy with the run and they work play action. I also believe Denver has enough targets on the outside to make chunk plays. That's why I think Denver will win this game. Also, when you look at these defenses, I do like the Chargers defense a little bit more than Denver's defense. But I'm going to make a declaration here. Denver's defense has the better game. That's why they get this win. Next game, people want me to talk about this. Some people are feeling themselves maybe a bit too much. Tampa Bay at the Giants. I just want to say, I want to be realistic with you guys. This isn't going to be an upset. I've been riding Tampa Bay all year. I think they're going to the Super Bowl. This is not going to happen. And the Giants are playing a little bit better. Okay, I'm not trying to just come on here and shit on the Giants every chance I get. They are playing a little bit better, but don't let that rush get to your head and think the Giants are going to pull an upset here because it's just not going to happen. And then that game's on Monday Night Football, so you have all weekend to think about it, and then your trigger finger on the bat is going to be there. That's why I dedicated time on this upset special to it. I don't want you guys falling on that trap. Wait till next week if you're bored on Monday and you want to make a bet. If you're going to bet anything, Tampa Bay to cover. Next game I want to talk about, and I like this upset. I don't have the certainty I did in previous weeks about some upsets, but let's look at the Tennessee Titans against the Cincinnati Bengals. And right now the point spread is at 5.5, 6, and I like what the Bengals are doing. I like how Joe Burrow is progressing. I see explosive plays on this offense, but also I'm seeing better situational football from this Bengals team, and that's something you want to see out of a young team. Zach Taylor's been coaching better. Yes, I know this Bengals defense, they can't stop anyone, and you guys were right in the comment section last week. I still covered that Browns game, but only by a half a point. So I appreciate you guys trying to warn me about that. And yes, that defense is as bad as you guys suggested. But Tennessee is a good team. We've won money on Tennessee in this podcast throughout this year. But we have to remember something. Tennessee is one of the most inconsistent teams in this league. We're not talking about, they don't show up that game like the Philadelphia Eagles or they look like they're lost like Dallas against the Redskins. No, I'm not saying that. That's not the line of argumentation I'm using. But this Tennessee team, they'll fade during games. They'll give you 2 good quarters. They'll give you 2 horrendous quarters. They'll be running the ball perfect with Derrick Henry, and then you get to the next quarter, and then they're throwing it 13 times straight with Ryan freaking Tannehill. It gets frustrating. And it feels this all started when Mike Vrabel got there. I'm not against Mike Vrabel, but this team is inconsistent. Another thing that's inconsistent, this defense is good, but this defense isn't dominant. And another thing that frustrates me about this Tennessee defense is you can always throw the ball over their head. They're always susceptible for the deep ball, and that's a problem. I think Joe Burrow can make some plays. I think this game will be very, very close. It is now a reason for caution. It is hard to run the ball against this Tennessee front seven, but we've seen people do it, and we've seen people do it effectively. But I think Joe Mixon can be used in different ways. I don't think the story of Joe Mixon this game will just be running the ball up the middle. I think the Bengals will utilize him in the pass game a lot, and that's where I see the matchups favoring the Bengals because these Tennessee linebackers, they can't cover a lick, and that's where Joe Mixon will get his space. Next game we're going to talk about, some of you want me to talk about this, Atlanta and Carolina. Listen, this game's so close. It's a coin flip game, so if you picked Atlanta, I wouldn't mind. But the danger with betting against Carolina is, I've been saying this all year, this team is playing with the highest level of effort out of any team in this league. And that's something we can't say about Atlanta. Yes, getting rid of Dan Quinn has shown positive. They looked a little bit better against Detroit. They looked a lot better against the Vikings. But those 2 teams aren't enough to say, oh, I'm putting big money on Atlanta to win. I wouldn't behest you if you did this, but for me, this is a pick-em game. And if anyone says they know who's going to win, I honestly think they're being a little bit irrational because this game is very, very tough to choose. Next game I want to talk about, the Rams and Miami, and I'm talking about this because Miami has brought us to the bank this year. There's no other way to put it. Fitzpatrick has put us on his back, brought us to the bank with Devontae Parker. But listen, it's over. It's over. The Cinderella story is over. Tua's going to come in, and I still believe in Flores. I still believe in this Miami team. But this Miami offensive line's not good. And then you're facing a vicious Rams defensive line, a Rams defensive line that when they smell blood, they keep coming. They go for the kill. So this is a dangerous game to have a rookie quarterback in here. I don't want you guys getting excited and taking Miami on the upset, chasing the nostalgia of when we beat Vegas with Miami against San Fran. I don't think it's going to happen. We have to show respect to Fitzpatrick and understand that he's a baller. He might not be a top 10 quarterback, but the dude is a baller and he motivates his team. There will be a drop-off with Tua. I'm not saying Tua's going to suck. I'm not saying Tua's going to be a bust, but we need to be fair to the rookie quarterback coming in. And listen, he's coming into a World War I battle with shrapnel firing everywhere, and I don't know if the kid's going to be able to stand up and make plays. Next game I'm looking at is New England against Buffalo. I will not be betting New England, but we need to consider the situation here. Yes, we hit against New England with upsets the last 2 weeks. Yes, I enjoyed dipping my hand in that cookie jar, and I enjoyed getting the money betting against New England because everyone worships the hoodie Bill Belichick. But before you bet against them this week, I want you to watch that Bills film. I want you to watch how bad that Bills team looked against the worst team in this league, the New York Jets. I think we need to be rational here. I think we need to take deep breaths. And honestly, this should be a game you stay away from and you wait to strike another day. But I would not be surprised if New England pulled this upset because this Bills team, we're starting to see why they struggled last year at times. Not because the defense, not because Stephon Diggs, not because the offensive line, but because Josh Allen makes bonehead plays. And it's not even the interceptions with the kid, it's the fumbles. And if you're turning it over against the Patriots, it's going to be a long day for you. Let's be realistic. Some people want me to talk about New Orleans and Chicago. I'm not feeling Chicago on the upset this week. You guys can write a comment down below if you are, but I'm not feeling it. Another game I want to caution you guys against is Minnesota and Green Bay. I understand why you guys are feeling my Vikings this week. They get the bye week. Green Bay might be a little bit tired, but we need to remember the Vikings can't stop anyone. This isn't the Vikings defense of 2 or 3 years ago. Now you taking Guakwe off. Now you take Hunter off. Who the hell is going to rush Aaron the Game Rodgers? How are they going to get a pass rush on him? And then I also like how this Green Bay defense stacks up against the Vikings offense. Sure, the Vikings offense, they could get the run game going, and that could make it close. But even if the Vikings get 150 yards rushing, even if Dalvin Cook comes back healthy, which I don't think he will, I don't think the Vikings can stop Aaron the Game Rodgers. And I think this Packers offense, they will be focused, they will be hungry, and they will be ready to go. Here's the upset I want you to bet. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Cleveland Browns. I like the Raiders this game, man. And this game's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Yes, last week Baker had a great game. Credit to Baker. But are we buying into that? A lot of my subscribers were commenting down below, Lawson, you need to remember, this Cincinnati Bengals defense is fugazi. I don't want to take anything away from Baker, but you guys were 100% correct. So when we look at this game, I'm saying, who's going to play the better defense? I got the Raiders playing better defense. And who's going to run the ball better? I think the Raiders run this ball better. They're getting the offensive line back from COVID. They're going to have their full offensive line. Those big uglies are going to go forward. And I feel like that's how you got to play against the Browns. The Browns have a dangerous pass rush. This pass rush is hard to contain. But the best way to contain a pass rush is running it right down their throat. And then we need to talk about another factor in this game. Carr versus Baker. Yes, Baker's coming off an all-time high performance. He played great against Cincinnati. I don't want to take credit away from the kid, even though he's annoying. But Carr's silently been playing good football this year. And I think when I'm looking at this game, I'm thinking, which quarterback do you trust to play the smarter football? I like Carr. I like Gruden better than I like Stefanski and Baker. And I don't want you guys to sleep on this Raiders defense. Yes, this Raiders defense has been a joke for 3 or 4 or 5 years. And yes, right now this Raiders defense, they aren't elite, but they play good, physical team football. I feel like they can make enough plays to stay competitive in this game. San Fran could possibly beat Seattle. Dallas isn't going to beat Philadelphia. I think Indianapolis beats Detroit. But if Detroit can stop this run, it will be interesting and could possibly be an upset. But you have to make Phillip Rivers throw the ball. And the reason why I'm not making that an upset is because I don't think Detroit has the heart in their front seven to stop this Colts run game. Subscribe, hit the like button, share the videos. I will be live Friday at 4. Leave your questions.